Salehi-Abari and Dr. Julie Thorpe. This paper is part of my PhD thesis research at Ontario Tech University. Passwords are widely used for web authentication. Users struggle to manage and remember many passwords for different accounts. The burden of remembering multiple passwords for various accounts can be both frustrating and problematic. Forgetting password results in frustration and problems, leading to repeated attempts and lockouts, often result to adopting unsafe practices such as password reuse or choosing short and easy to guess passwords. One way to address this issue is by using password managers, which allow users to generate and store unique and random passwords for each account. Unfortunately, randomly generated passwords generated by password managers have low adoption rate. Therefore, it seems crucial to promote the use of randomly generated password within password managers to enhance the user's online security. One approach that can be used is the technique of nudging. Nudging is a strategy to influence individuals' choices without imposing a predetermined result. Some web browsers like Chrome, Firefox, and Safari have employed nudging technique to promote the use of randomly generated password during the password creation process. In our recent study, which was published in SOUPS 2022, we showed that Safari users are more likely to adopt randomly generated password compared to Chrome or Firefox users, suggesting that Safari's nudging design might be the contributing factor behind its efficacy. But that study's design didn't allow distinguishing between whether it was Safari's design or its users. So our first research question aims to find whether Safari's design is effective across other browsers or if its users are more likely to adopt randomly generated password. To study this, we simulate Safari's nudge design on Chrome to evaluate its effectiveness on a population other than Safari users. Our second research question focuses on identifying the specific element that makes a Safari's design more effective. This screenshot shows the simulation of Safari on Chrome. Is it the password field portion in Safari's design that makes it more effective? If so, is it due to autofill that automatically generates randomly generated password, or the visual element that fades the tail of the autofill password to appear longer and highlights the password field in yellow? Or is it because of the pop-up message that displays some information about randomly generated password? And finally, our third research question is to evaluate whether we can further enhance a Safari's nudge design using social nudge by enabling social comparison using the statement join other users and be part of the secure movement in a pop-up message of Safari's nudge design. To answer our research questions, we simulate Safari's design and its elements on Chrome and evaluate them through a study on Mechanical Turk website. To identify the use of Chrome browser, we employed a user agent header. In our study, participants were assigned to one of the 6 conditions which will be discussed shortly. Each participant was limited to a single sign-up in our study to ensure that the study had a between a subject design. Here is the control condition in our study that simulates the Chrome interface and suggests a randomly generated password and displays some information once the user clicks on a password field. Our experimental conditions include the simulation of Safari on Chrome that includes the autofill pop-up and visual elements. The password fields prototype contains the autofill and visual UI elements. The password field no visual prototype includes only the autofill element. The pop-up prototype includes only the pop-up element, and a Safari social prototype includes a social pop-up in addition to all Safari's UI elements. Our study structure contains the following tasks But first, to prevent user from focusing on password generator, we use a deceptive consent form asking users to evaluate the registration and login process of our e-commerce website. So they were asked to register on our mock e-commerce website, answer 5 demographic questions, log in to the account they created, report their behavior toward nudges, and ask to provide their feedback. And at the end of the study, participants were debriefed with the true purpose of our study and offered the opportunity to withdraw while no data would be recorded. Now I'd like to share some interesting findings from our study. To answer the first research question, we compare randomly generated password adoption rates between Chrome and Safari, and interestingly, we noticed that Chrome users are more likely to adopt a randomly generated password when exposed to Safari's design rather than Chrome's nudge. This supports Safari's effectiveness might be due to its design. So we had a more in-depth analysis using a pairwise comparison between elements to answer the second research question and find which element is more effective. As you can see, we found a significant difference between password field and pop-up elements, which password field offering an autofill element while pop-up doesn't. However, there is not a significant difference between conditions that both employ autofill elements, such as comparing Safari and password field, as well as between password field and password field no visual. Please note that the key element that these two conditions have is autofill. For further support, we noticed that comparing Chrome with password field no visual shows a significant difference, while only password field no visual offers autofill elements, but comparing Chrome with pop-up doesn't show a significant difference. And we found that our particular social nudge design didn't actually have a positive impact on enhancing Safari's design. Overall, situation where autofill element is employed seems to be more effective at encouraging users to adopt randomly generated password when compared to the conditions without the autofill element. This table shows the nudge type associated with each UI element, and based on our finding among all UI elements, autofill shows higher efficacy. Default nudge works by pre-selecting the desired option by default, and autofill is the only element that incorporates with default nudge and automatically populates randomly generated password by default for the user, supporting that simple defaults are powerful. We compare password field and password field no visual prototypes to find whether there is a value in the visual elements in Safari's design. Surprisingly, we noticed that although the visual element of password field would make the prototype more visually striking, and also the noticeability is higher compared to the password field no visual, it ends with missed opportunity and it doesn't lead to higher rate of randomly generated password adoption. This might be because the interface drew less attention and fewer participants seriously considered the implication of randomly generated password. One interpretation might be that visual plays a role to help the participants to stop and think, and this might arise ethical concerns when users accept default without understanding the implication. And what if users are not even aware they had other alternative choices than accepting the default? Future work includes developing approaches to personalize security nudges and addressing the missed opportunity issue where a nudge is noticed but fails to capitalize on users' attention. Thanks for being here today, and I'm looking forward to receiving your follow-up questions.